Thought maybe to take a little walk and see what it's like in the greenhouse. It's blustery and windy out here today. If I can even get in these doors. Quite a bit of snow piled up down there. But we can get in. I'm eager to get in this spot in a few months. Right now it's all put to sleep in storage. Those are some pepper plants that I tried to overwinter that did not make it. They all died. This is where we keep our potting soil, pots, and whatnots. More dead soldiers. There's a good find I got at the antique shop. And that's a new one. Compost forks. Hi everyone. So today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about something that's going to be happening soon in my neck of the woods anyways, and that is starting seeds. Probably where some of you are, you have already begun, but I'm in zone 3A and it's still a little bit early in my opinion for what I grow anyways, but I will probably start some say middle to end of February. For sure. Things like celery, onions if you start by seed, some pepper varieties, what else? Parsley, some of the herbs that take a little bit longer. Just I'll start a few things like that. So I just wanted to show you my setup and show you a little bit about what I do to keep myself organized throughout the gardening season and throughout the winter season coming up to the gardening season. So the first thing I wanted to show is what I use for a seed stand. And it's pretty much your typical seed stand that you can buy at any of the big box hardware stores like Lowe's, Home Depot, probably Canadian Tire. It's 4 shelves. And then those 4 shelves you can do with what you want. So I have fluorescent fixtures on my shelves, and I have been using this setup now for probably 7 years. This is probably the 8th year. The fluorescent fixtures have worked well for me. I know that there is some controversy over fluorescent lights, and I did actually think that I was going to swap out my fluorescent lights for LED lights this year. But recently I've been hearing now that there could be potentially bad side effects from using LED lights. I've heard that they're cataract causing. So I'm on the fence right now. I'm not switching anything around. Like I said, I've been using this for a number of years and it works for what I need it to do. So right now I'm just going to keep it as is. And also you can see as it doubles as squash and pumpkin storage in the wintertime. Because I'm in the back bedroom of our house and we heat with wood, this room actually stays quite cool. And all I have it wrapped in, this is a big roll of painter's plastic. It's inexpensive. I just wrap it around, and then when I need to, when I've got all my plants in there, I just have a front on it, and I clip it up top, and it keeps the humidity and extra heat in. I also have all my lights connected to each other, and they come down into here, and we put them on a timer. I've come in here after the seed stand is full and operational with a temperature gun, and I've checked the temperatures, and I'm around 24, 25, sometimes even 26 degrees. So it's plenty warm enough for things like peppers and more of your heat-loving plants. The other thing I've been using for several years is just a box like this. And I've got old file folders that I've taken and folded in half and stapled, and I just organize my seeds that way. I organize my seeds by type. That works for me. I've got herbs, I've got the cabbage family, the brassicas, I've got corn, squash and pumpkins. I have a couple of folders for direct sow veggies, and then of course flowers, more flowers. I've got greens and celery and peppers and whatnot up here. That seems to hold enough for me. That works for me. I know some people like to organize their seeds by the date in which they need to be sown. And that's fine too. I just find that this works for me, and so that's what I use. Something else that I've been doing for a number of years is a really crude layout of my garden area and my greenhouse. I garden mostly in raised beds, so that's what all those blocks are. And I've got a little greenhouse. I've got pots. This area here is up against our house, and I've got a bunch of bigger pots, bigger planters, and that's where a lot of tomatoes go. And then if you flip it over, in behind my rabbitry, I have an in-ground bed that is still considered a raised bed in that it doesn't get tilled. I just add to it. I add compost, I add leaves in the fall, and it just gets added to and replenished that way. It never gets tilled. And then from that garden plan and from the journaling that I do throughout the garden season, I can see what worked, what didn't work, where stuff was grown, so that we can rotate, do a simple rotation, so we don't just have a whole bunch of heavy feeders always in one area. That can result in pest pressure, that can result in soil depletion, even if you are amending your beds. And then from my design, then I make a list of things that I want to grow for this upcoming year, and then I can compare it against my seed stash and see what I need to buy for the season, the upcoming season. I think I would say that probably one of my most valuable tools, even though it isn't necessarily a tool, is my garden journal. I've been using this now for several years, and the stuff that you can keep track of and go back on and read really is really beneficial. My garden journal is really beneficial in ways that I can keep track of things that worked and what didn't work. That's obvious. I can keep track of the spring and summer and fall temperatures, rainfall, frost dates. For instance, in our area the last couple of years, we've been really noticing our frost dates change, and we are getting an extended gardening season, which I'm not complaining about at all. It's a blessing up here when we have such a short growing season. I think that's happening probably in a lot of places around the world, but I keep track of that. Keep track of consumption. So I use it through the summertime. I record how things are doing. If I try a different method of fertilizing, if I try a different method of planting, different things in the greenhouse versus outside, what's working, what isn't. But also in the winter months, I will record, okay, we grew too much squash. We grew too many potatoes. We can cut back on that. Whatever I did with the onions, they're not storing as well as they have in previous years. So it's a really valuable tool and something that I recommend to everyone. It is a little bit of time when you're doing it, but in the long run, it saves you time because you're not wasting time doing things over and over again that didn't work for you in the past. And if you think you're going to remember, trust me, you won't. And also it saves you money. So you're not buying things that you didn't necessarily like. Seeds, yeah, okay. Well, seeds are what, 3, 4, 5, sometimes $6 a pack, and it doesn't seem like a lot of money. But when you're buying a lot of seeds, it adds up. Something else to think about in the planning process is how, obviously how much you're consuming, how much you're using, but also, are you going to be using any of your canned goods for Christmas gifts, birthday gifts, housewarming gifts? Sometimes you put together a care package for a family that's going through hard times. Sometimes you have kids that come and like to raid your garden. So are you going to be planting extras for things like that? So you can really take into consideration all of those things. I can't think of anybody that doesn't like to get a little bundle of something that's homemade or something that's fresh from the garden. Everybody that I've given stuff to like that really appreciates it. So I think that's about it for today. I just wanted to touch base on that. And then when I do get to starting some seeds, I will most likely do that in the greenhouse. It's less messy and I'll do it on a warmer day. And I'll take you along and we'll see how things go in there. So thanks for watching. Bye.